Hello, members of the Finance and Governance Committee and members of City Council. Adam Smith, Project Manager in the City Manager's Office, with the approval of federal and state of California lobbyist agreements. Recommendations that the Finance and Governance Committee recommends that the City Council, 1, approves and authorizes the mayor to execute agreement number 324-00402 with John O'Donnell for federal advocacy and lobbying professional services, and 2, approve and authorize the mayor to execute agreement number 324-00408 with Michael J. Arnold for state of California advocacy and lobbying professional services. A little bit of background: on December 6, 2023, the city's purchasing division released 2 RFPs for lobbying services for both the state of California and the federal government in Washington, D.C. The due date for both RFPs was January 8th of 2024. The city's current lobbyists, our federal lobbyists with John O'Donnell, and our state lobbyists with Michael J. Arnold or Arnold and Associates, they both expired on January 13th of 2024. Why do we need lobbyists? Well, the city requires well-managed, financially sound legislative advocates with demonstrated skills and technical ability, high levels of customer service and responsiveness to fulfill the requirements outlined in both RFPs. The city received 2 proposals, responses for the state RFP and 4 for the federal RFP. And the evaluation method that was used to determine the best qualified consultant consisted of the proposer's ability and history in providing the requested services or work for public agencies of similar size as the city, responsiveness of the proposal, and the clarity and completeness of the proposed scope of work, the demonstrated technical competence and experience to perform the services, a past record of performance of similar work or service, and then finally the cost proposal. As mentioned previously, the city received a total of 4 proposals for the federal RFP, and those came in from MMO Partners, which is John O'Donnell, Townsend Public Affairs, Best and Krieger, and Becker Lawyers. It was determined that MMO Partners was the most qualified firm to provide federal lobbying and advocacy services to the city using that evaluation criteria. The proposed agreement with MMO Partners is for a 3-year period with 2 one-year renewals at the city manager's option. The agreement's for a not to exceed amount of $5,800 per month, which equals out to $208,800 for the initial 3-year term. Any renewals of the agreement would be administered through the city's amendment approval process. For the state, the city received a total of 2 proposals, one from Arnold and Associates and Townsend Public Affairs. Arnold & Associates was selected as the most qualified firm for state lobbying services to the city using that same evaluation criteria. The proposed agreement with Arnold & Associates is for a 3-year period, again with 2 one-year renewals at the city manager's option. This agreement's for a not to exceed amount of $5,000 per month or $180,000 for the initial 3-year term, and again renewals are administered or would be administered through the amendment approval process. Financial impact: both agreements, to summarize, are for 3-year periods with the 2 one-year renewals. As in previous years, the cost of the federal agreement is to be spread between the city's non-departmental water, wastewater, and ER legal advocacy funds. Sufficient funds are included in the adopted 23-24 budget, and then increases for future fiscal years would be requested through the annual budget process. The total annual increase as compared to the prior agreements is $16,000, which equals out to $4,200 annual increase for MMO Partners based on their prior agreement, and increase $4,200, and $12,000 for Arnold and Associates. Ending where we began with the recommendations to approve both agreements, one with John O'Donnell for federal advocacy and lobbying professional services, and approving agreement for state lobbying services with Michael J. Arnold. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.